Hey guys, we are live. I'm just gonna set this up a little bit further and wait a few minutes for everyone to come in. Let's see. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes, see who joins us. Give it a few minutes. I see someone is on. If you guys want to say hi, introduce yourself. If you have a question. Oh, hey, Jennifer. Well, since you're on, actually, I'm going to start with all of your questions, okay? So let me just pull up my Instagram. All right. Okay. So the first one, how much money would you say one needs to get started? So it just depends what you're doing. Are you creating custom jewelry or are you looking to start a shop? Because it might be a little bit different. If you're going the custom route, it's going to take a couple $100s to get samples done. Because when you get samples done, they have to make the mold. So some molds can be between Christian Faith Shop. So are you looking for products that have already been done? Not so much custom. Okay. So you just want products that the manufacturer already makes. So that's not as expensive. The only thing really, if you're going that route, you typically, if it's in stock products, then you typically just have to pay a couple of dollars for the products and then like 25 for shipping. We have a custom, mostly already finished products. Yeah. So if you're going that route, it's not that much. It's you're mainly paying for shipping and testing out different products. So an amount, I would say, like, you're paying for shipping. I would set aside maybe like $200. Um, if you're just buying things that people already have. But yeah, if you're doing custom, then I would say set aside about like $500-600 to get things custom made. Okay. After the style of the line and samples have been established, how much inventory should one have, such as bracelets, necklaces, etc.? Oh, hold on one second. Someone's at my door. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. All right. So it says after the style of the line and samples have been established, how much inventory should one have as bracelets, necklaces, etc. So that's up to you. I actually launched my company with 3 products, and that was 3 different styles of inspirational rings. So you can launch with whatever you have. Like, I launched with 3 products. That first, what was it? The first 2 weeks, I made maybe about like 500. So yeah, so my inventory cost about like $400, and I made about like $600 like those first 3 weeks. So it's possible to start with like a small inventory. Um, if you're niche down, once you start like running your ads, start finding your like your group, your people, they'll like shop your store with what you have. So you don't need to be like, all of these big stores with like a lot of products. As long as you're niche down, like you can launch with whatever you feel comfortable launching with. Now I've added necklaces and bracelets. I'm kind of like dipping my toes into earrings. Um, for ads too, I would. So you can do a lot with maybe $40 for ads for a couple of days. So that is a cost that you should set aside, and you should um, put that into your cost for the products. So set aside money for ads. So yeah, it's a personal preference. I launched with 3 products. Now I've expanded. So I wouldn't let the amount of products like stop you or hold you back from you launching. What is needed to have down pat set before launching? So what's needed to have down pat? You want to have you want to figure out who your group is, like who are you marketing to. So for me, I like jewelry that me and my sister would wear. So you have to envision your girl, or your guy. I don't know if you're gonna do both genders, but you have to have that figured out. So when you're reaching out to maybe, I reached out to like people that have like a bigger following on Instagram than I did. I'm like, hey, can you just, take a picture? I'll send you free products. So you want to, in your mind, you need to figure out who your target audience is. So have that down packed before launching. You want to figure out your packaging. Packaging will change throughout your journey, but you want to have like your packaging in mind before you launch. You need to have, I recommend Shopify because it does everything for you. I would set up an Instagram for your business, and then I would connect it to Shopify. I would have that set up before you launch. What else? So have down your packaging, because once you get that first order, that you're gonna have to get it out the door. So that's one thing that you want to know. And then let's see, I think that's about it. You need who your customer is. You should have an Instagram, and you should have your website set up. And last week I told people not to worry about getting like a professional designer to do a website. I still use a free template in Shopify. Now I bought my domain, but as far as like setting up the website, I use a free template. So I wouldn't worry too much. All you want to do is just get started at this point. I would like to be cost effective yet have at least somewhat nice packaging, but also try to save on garbage. I see some businesses insert a business card and a thank you card. Is a business card necessary? I personally don't have business cards. I do write thank you cards though. And the thank you cards go a long way. Whether you have your pre-written message out on your thank you card and then you just write their name, thank you cards go a long way. So I try to say, yeah. There's some good companies on Etsy that you can get packaging done. I did ribbon for a while. Let me see, where's my ribbon? I'm not sure if you've seen it. Yeah, I did ribbon, and I got it from Etsy. And then I got boxes from Amazon, like plain white boxes from Amazon. And I stick a thank you card. I write their name at the top, and then I say, enjoy, Monique. And then if it's like someone that is loyal to my brand, I might write like a little note for them on the side. But I get these from Vistaprint. I got my ribbon from Etsy. And I got ribbon from Etsy, those from Vistaprint, my boxes and my bubble mailers from Amazon. So that's keeping it simple. It's cute. Everyone likes it. You don't need to get business cards. Business cards are great. Like when you're out in public and someone notices your jewelry, then you can give it to them then, but I don't put it in my packaging. With thank you cards and discount codes on the thank you card, how often should the codes be changed? Do you keep track of how many times the codes are being used, and they're being used by a previous customer? Because let's say it's always the same, they can just pass it around. So I actually don't put discount codes on my thank you cards. I run sales on my shop often enough that people know a sale is around the corner. So I don't put discount codes, and it's never been brought up that that's a problem. So if it's not a problem, I'm just gonna, keep it the way it is. But I personally don't put discount codes. I know some people put discount codes on. But yeah, I run sales normally. So I guess if you establish discount codes on your thank you cards, people are going to expect it, and that could be a possibility that people are sharing your discount codes. Which, when you're coming up with pricing, you should know how to price your items for when you do have a discount, you're still making profit. So that's important too. So you should keep that in, like, so yeah, sales sound better. Yeah, so I factor in sales into my pricing, my items. So I told the people last week, I multiply the cost of the item and all of my expenses, and then I times it by 4. So when I run a sale, I times all of that by 3, and that's the minimum amount that I can go. So say something's regularly priced at $19 and I run a sale and then the item is $15, but I need to keep it above $15 for me to profit as a business. Like, I don't go below the $15 mark for that product, because that would just be bad business. So when you're pricing your items, automatically think of your sale price as well, so you're not missing out on so many products. So like if you see Instagram ads where it's like it's 50% off, it's probably because they've marked it up so high that they can take 50% off. You know what I mean? So I don't go past 30%, because when you start going past 30%, then that starts messing up my margins. So I just don't do that. So think about that when you are pricing your items. Okay. So how do you go about preparing the customer service side of things, such as complaints? Because I mostly would not do refunds or returns unless I knew it was my fault. And sometimes there's those kinds of customers that want you out of your business. I didn't even think about that, but I've never run into that. I've run into people on my website, it says size up because my rings run tight, right? And I clearly stated that. And there'll be people that like, hey, the ring, I love it, it's gorgeous, can I switch sizes? And that irks me because I told them to size up. But if someone sized up and the size up that they got was still too small, I normally, like, so a lot of people keep coming back. I have like 3, 4, I have returning customers because my customer service is good. So before, if it happens a few times, I'm like, oh, gift it to a friend. It's a $5 shipping fee. So I send them a shipping label through Shopify. And then they send the package back to me, and then I'll mail out another one, but I have them pay for shipping. And also, in my pricing, I've given enough wiggle room that I'm not like stingy with my products. It's irritating, but it doesn't happen often, especially if you have great customer service. Because there's been times where they're like, it doesn't fit, but I'm gonna wear it around my neck. I've never had someone like try to get over on me. As far as returns, I have never had like chargebacks or anything like that. In customer service, it all depends on how you come out the gate. If they sense you're like genuine, very sweet, and they like, if they can sense that you have good customer service, you'll always have customers and you don't have to worry about stuff like that. But there is ways that they can return it. I think for you, since you know what you want to do, I would just clearly state on the items like, hey, there's no returns. There's no refunds or returns. For me, I don't really have that problem, because yeah, I've never had that problem. But if that's something that you know that you don't want to do, then I would clearly state it on the website. But normally I just have them pay for shipping. It's going to be a $5 exchange fee. So that's how I do it. If that does happen. And you mentioned something about being different, but what if something I had in mind to sell, other businesses are selling them as well? So, okay, so you had something in mind to sell, but other businesses are selling them as well. I wouldn't, now if it's like, let's see, if it's like you, okay, so you know have you ever heard of the brand Mantra brand? Mantra bands? So I wouldn't, there's a lot of like companies now that are selling the bands with the what is it, the quotes on them. And so, you know, I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with you selling stuff that other people have. I would not create a whole shop with products that can be found other places, because now you're in competition with other places. So like my rings are unique to, because there's a lot of inspirational jewelry out that's in the, you know, the cuff band. And then I know Mantra brand has a ring, but like my font is different. My sayings are kind of faith-based. I've added like, you know, little cubic zirconia like diamonds to mine. So there's a way of being different, but still having similar products. So you can have products, because especially if you're shopping at Alibaba, a lot of these big stores have a lot of products that come from Alibaba's like basic, like, you know, list of products basically. But you don't want to fill your entire store with just like Alibaba like popular products. You want to fill your store with things that make you stand out. So a few pieces here and there, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you have an entire shop full of like pieces that you can find everywhere, then you're kind of running into a problem, because then you're becoming competition. So I'm friends with a lot of the jewelry companies on Instagram, because we have different things and we can respect, you know, what everyone's doing, and we bounce ideas off of it. But then when you start selling the same thing, then that's when you become like competitors with other companies. So just think about how you can be different. I don't know. Does that answer your question? I think I went around everywhere with that, but I hope that answered your question. Okay. Yeah, that does. Okay, great. At any point, did you have any doubts or uncertainties? No. I knew I had like a feeling that I was supposed to get started. And so I just acted on that feeling. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit prompting me, but I just had a feeling that I was supposed to get started. And I started even though I wasn't ready. Like, so I launched my Instagram. I ran Instagram ads, and my sister and my cousin posted my products, right? So I started the evening off with 4 followers. My sister, my cousins, and my graphic designer. 4 followers. Ran the Instagram ads, got like 100 followers just like through the first Instagram ads. And I started to get sales and I didn't have my packaging ready. So I'm at like Michael's. I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna send this girl in the mail. Like I wasn't ready. So you might have doubts or uncertainties, but I wouldn't focus too much on the doubts or the uncertainties. Like for me, like I knew that I needed to at least try. So if I tried and I failed, so be it. But I had a feeling that I needed to at least try. How do you go about finding shipping costs ahead of time to factor into your cost? So you don't have to pay for shipping if you have Shopify. When they get to checkout, they pay for their own shipping. Now, if you want to, so what I do though is I put in the cost of my shipping supplies into all of my items. So like say my bubble mailers for 50 bubble mailers is like $15. For the boxes on Amazon is like $9, and then my ribbon was like $35. I add all of my expenses up and then I divide it by how much inventory I have, and that's kind of how much like that's how I kind of like add in the pricing for my packages. But you don't pay for shipping, the customer does. So yeah. And if I run sales, if I run free shipping, so if I run free shipping and shipping is normally $2.75, and then I run like a free shipping ad for that $19 product minus $2.75, as long as it doesn't get below $15, I'm in the good. I still make profit. So that's kind of how you do shipping. But if you have Shopify, you don't get, actually you do get charged, like, so they pay for shipping. You have to hold on to that money though, because Shopify will charge you at the end of the month for shipping. But the customer pays for shipping. I don't know if I explained that good enough. Does that make sense? So they will charge the customer for shipping, but if you have Shopify, you pay your monthly fee plus the cost of shipping. So all of those 275s add up to a grand total, and then you pay that at the end of the month. But it is charged by the customer. It is included in the price that they pay when they check out. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so shipping costs, that makes sense, but you said you factor in your packaging costs and divide it by your inventory, but doesn't the inventory change all the time? It does. So I'm just saying for my rings. So the costs, so, okay, so say, here, I need a calculator. Say my rings costed each $3.50, right? So we're gonna times that by 100, because I buy 100 rings at $3.50. Here, let me get out a calculator. $3.50 times 100. The Alibaba fee, let's say, is $50. Plus shipping, 100 rings is probably like $60. So I spent $460 on that entire order, right? Okay, so $460 on just rings, plus these Mylar bags. I needed to buy, let's see, 100 of these Mylar bags comes to $8, so $460 plus 8. Plus my bubble mailers. So for 50 bubble mailers is $15, so $30 for 100, right? And then the ribbon was $30. All right, so 460 plus 8 plus 30 plus 30. So 460 plus 8 plus 30 plus 30. So I'm now dividing 528 divided by 100. So that's 528, $5.28. So I multiply that by 4 at least. So 21.12 is like the minimum that I'll start the product off with, right? So 21, so that included my packaging, my packaging, the cost of the product. Yeah, the packaging and the cost of the product, right? So 21.20. So I might list the product as $24, right? So list the product as, and my shop is known like for like girls that get like inexpensive jewelry, minimal jewelry, but like quality at a discounted price. So I don't upcharge like up the butt like other companies do. So maybe I might charge this item for $24, right? So $24 allows you to make profit, allows you to put so let's see, 24 times, what is that, 6. Oh my god, I'm so not 24 times, is that, what is that? Oh no, that's not right. 6, yeah. So $6 for my profit, $6 for marketing, $6 for taxes, and then $6 like goes to my business, right? When I'm running a sale, let's see, 24 divided by 3. So, okay, if I'm running oh, no. Oh, wait, 8. Sorry, hold on one second. So if I'm running a sale, I would never go below $18, right? $18 for that one product is the max, so I can still have money for me, my business, and whatever I need. I'm so sorry if that didn't make sense, but that's what I put my money towards. Like, that's how I do my pricing. I always times it by 4 and never go below that. And then so when I do a sale, I'm still making money off of that product. So I knew you said something. Me just trying to make sure that I got what you were saying. I hope, does that make sense? But in that, I do not. So wait, you factor in your ad costs. That's how I do it. That's how I make sure I have enough money. Ads are super beneficial in my business. And so I make sure I have enough money for marketing. If you don't intend to market the way I market, then that's fine. But ads have like done wonders in my business. Instagram ads have done, yeah, that's how, my business Instagram grew so fast, is because of Instagram ads. So I factor in, I'm not so good with math. Just times your packaging, the products, by 4. And when I was saying shipping, it costs to ship from China to here. 100 products is typically at least $50. So that's what I meant by like shipping there. But then like, so you pay for Shopify. I pay for Shopify on the 21st. So my Shopify account is $29 a month, but they don't take out the person's shipping cost that day. They take it out at the end of the month. So say I had 11 orders this week and they all were shipped out. So whatever 11 times 275 is, that goes on my balance for shipping at the end of the month. So the customer is paying for it, but Shopify doesn't collect its money until the 21st. No, there's no listing fees. I think there's a listing amount depending on which Shopify membership you get, I believe, but I haven't run into any problems. There's no listing fees. It's not like Etsy. I know Etsy charges you to list, but yeah, there's no listing fees. Okay. I feel like God told me to start a faith-based online store. I've been sitting on it for 2 years because I don't see anybody wanting to buy it. I started making things and seeing some people liked it, but people liking and wanting to actually buy is two different things. So question is, people always say it doesn't need to be perfect or have it all together, just start. How would one just start? I can't seem to get past my professional and okay. Okay, so where are you seeing people like it but not buy it? Are you on Etsy? Because I put my original products on Etsy and that was a flop. So I took my stuff to Instagram and built a website. No, I thought about Etsy, but okay, so one thing is, so I'm please just hear my heart. Just hear my heart when I say this, okay? Um if you feel like God told you to start, but like in the past, I'll go to church, so like, yeah, that's nice. Who cares about, okay, hear my heart, Jennifer. Just hear my heart first. Just hear my heart. Um, okay, if you feel like God told you to start something and you didn't do it, so whenever I hear people say, like God told me to do this, I'm like, so why haven't you done it? I don't know, like whenever I've read the Bible and God has told me to, or God has told someone to do something, he's always been like right there with that person doing it. Moses had a freaking stutter, right? And he's supposed to deliver the people from Egypt. Was it Egypt? Horrible with Bible stories. So just try to get my point, right? He sent Moses to do it, but God was like right there, right? Gideon with his army, Gideon was scared to death, and he had like 300 people. And the army that he was going after, the angels sent confusion to their camp, and they ended up killing each other. So in my mind, if God has told you to do something and you haven't done it because you're scared of people, your whole message is talking about people. You don't need to be scared of people. People, girl, people. Yes, people. You are scared of people. What if God had you? You felt like he was leading this 2 years ago, right? And he knows that you're probably a perfectionist, so you're gonna weigh out the pros and cons. So he gave you 2 years. What if he told you to start that for this time right now? Like, I don't know about you. People are still shopping. People, the same people that you're talking about, are still coming to my store. So here, let me just show you, right? People are freaking out because their income might get turned off. But what if God had given you provision? Given you provision for this coronavirus, and you're scared of people, and God told you because he knew that this time was gonna come to where job security is like, but you're worried about everybody else around you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I started in November. I was not ready. I just started. And I started in November. I started to get my footing. I started to get a loyal base, because here it is in March. I have a house in Virginia and I'm in Texas. My tenants, I don't know if they're gonna be able to pay. You know what's keeping me afloat? This business that I started in November that I wasn't prepared for. So if he gave you 2 years and you're sitting on an idea, but it was supposed to be your provision for this time, but you were worried about everyone else and not listening to him, I don't know what to tell you. You have to let go of like that people pleasing mindset. You have to. Some things are not going to turn out good. Like even with my store, I have products that just don't sell and I cannot stay there. I have to keep moving. And I have to keep moving because I feel so blessed that he gave me another source of income. So I don't know who, like my business is inspirational rings. And for you to say that people aren't buying it, I'm not making millions of dollars, don't get me wrong, but a little 500 here, a little 700 there is getting me through this. So you're worried about the wrong thing, especially if you feel led from God, who in the Bible always, if he gave someone instruction, I've never read a story where he just left them stranded. I've never read any Bible stories saying that God told him to do something and then dipped. Like that's just not in my Bible. I don't know. So just hear my heart. If he told you to do something, it's for a reason. It's either for someone, you probably were supposed to bless someone's life, or it's for your own provision. So I wouldn't have that mindset. I would not be scared of what people say. I would not, except for except for Jonah went the wrong way though. Jonah disobeyed. So yeah, Jonah was on his own because he did. Jonah disobeyed, girl. Like you can't just say God told me to do it and then you not do it. So don't let people, yeah. Some things just don't work. That is okay. And that's a part of like not everything in my business is, perfect. I've had to like learn hard lessons. I've had to learn expensive lessons. But the fact that I felt that I needed to start a jewelry business because for one, I talk to people all day long. I'm able to like write like how I feel or write what God has placed in my heart through my business. So we have fun on my page and like it's kind of inspirational. So you don't know who you're supposed to like bless. Sometimes I get messages like if I put an extra item in someone's package, they're like, you just made my day. You don't know what people are going through, and you might be like the avenue to bless someone else. So if you're worried about people, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's not something that I can help you with because like I say God has not given me a spirit of fear and I just keep it moving. Like he's given me power, love, and a sound mind, a strong mind, a stable mind. I don't put my hope in people. I told God, like, if my tenants are like out of work, it's up to me. So he needs to give me the wisdom. He has to give me the strategy to keep it going. And that's just how I've ran my business. Like I pray for strategy and wisdom every single day. And it's worked out where you have other people who are sitting on ideas just missing out because they're scared. So don't let fear dictate your journey because that's not from Christ anyway. So I'm done with my rant. I'm sorry. Okay. So some suppliers say stainless steel color will change over time. Do you or would mention that in your products? So I have stainless steel products. And stainless steel products don't change over time. What stainless steel products will fade. You were so right. I'm hearing God. What you're saying. I had feel. Yeah. No, I feel too. I feel too. I tried to write. I created a journal, and I might re-release it at another time. But right after the journal failed, that's when I started to put the messages that I had in the journal. Like it was like a devotional journal. And I just started to put them on rings. And so sometimes and another thing, like if you always feel that leading to do something, I don't really think that you should consider it as like a failure per se. Maybe just you learn from your from your mistakes, or maybe it just wasn't the right time for that one. But after that didn't pan out, I still had I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing something and I'm gonna figure this thing out because it just felt like I just was supposed to be doing something. I was like, he's not done yet. He's not done. So let me just keep moving, keep walking and figure it out. And so I was like, well, what else do I like? Because I like journaling and I love jewelry. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put these inspirational messages. Somebody's going to get my inspiration. I don't care how they get it. They're going to get it. So I started putting it on jewelry. So don't just because something didn't work out in one area does not make it true that it's not going to work out in another area. So I wouldn't even worry about that. Okay, so we were talking about stainless steel. Stainless steel doesn't tarnish. Stainless steel after a while will fade. But I got a sample product of stainless steel a year ago, and I often use it in my Instagram story. So I got this one a year ago, and I washed my nails or washed my hands and everything, and then this one's brand new. So you can kind of tell. I don't know who you told to, but like stainless steel will, I guess, fade. But this is brass. So I was supporting one of like my Instagram jewelry friends, and her earrings are brass, and so they kind of tarnish. So yeah, brass will tarnish. Stainless steel will just fade. The plating, the gold plating will fade. But depending on who your vendor is, like that thing has lasted me a year. So, and a lot of my customers, that's what they like about my jewelry is because it is stainless steel. So like now I try to put out earrings. I was like, hey guys, I got these samples. I don't want them. My customers are like, is it stainless steel? I was like, no, it's brass. They don't want it. They want stainless steel because of the quality, because it does not fade. So you can say, if taken care, it can last a long time. I wash my hands every day. I don't take my rings off when I wash my hands. So it's Survive Soap and Water. On my Instagram page, I tell them how they can clean it, how they can restore their jewelry. They really like that. So now I know not to purchase anything brass because personally, my customers, they're like, Monique, is it stainless? I'm like, no. They're like, don't want it. So yeah, I love working with stainless steel. You're afraid of bad reviews and rejection. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. Afraid of bad reviews and rejection. Again, that's a people thing. If you have good customer service, if you are marketing to the right folks, then, and if you are, so like say you get your jewelry, you need to wear your jewelry yourself before you put it out to the masses. That will avoid a lot of headaches. That will avoid, so you can figure out, so for me, before I put this ring out, I figured out like, does this thing irritate my skin during the day? Can I wash my hands with it and it still be like, so I wear my jewelry before I even list it. So you have to get out of the mindset of just making money. You have to say, what would be best for my business? When I try to add these brass things, so now I figured out I can't order brass for my customers because they don't like it. So as far as bad reviews and rejection, if you are treating your business as your number one priority and you're making the best decisions, then you shouldn't get bad reviews or rejection. And then so there's a gentleman on here that said he needed tips on getting sales. Are you currently advertising? Are you using Instagram ads? What are you doing to put yourself out there? Are people aware of your brand? Brand awareness is very important. Because if no one knows about it, then they're not going to buy it. So it's on Facebook and Instagram. Are you using ads? Um, so when I do ads, I actually sometimes do you get sales out of when you run ads? And then do you get sales when you're running ads? And then how much money do you put towards ads a day? Well, like I was saying, I when I run ads, I don't even like try to market a certain product. I market my products, I market my brand, and I have the people come to my page. When they get to my page, they have like they can see reviews, they can see other people wearing the jewelry, so they can see people. What do I have? Um, so I don't market just like one product because that's never worked for me. $5 a day on ads. So can you put your Instagram on here so I can kind of see your page so I can see so I can give you some suggestions? Can you put your Instagram on here? One thing that I found out is I get the most sales on Friday and Sunday. So I'll start my Instagram ads on Thursday. Um, Turner Beautiful Bracelets. Okay. So I'll start my ads on, so it was kind of trial and error. I start my ads on Thursday and um I'll stop it on Monday because I was seeing that my money was going to waste on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, let's see. So let's see. I think you should get people to model more of your bracelets. So a lot of your bracelets are like just the photography. But I don't feel like there's like a human like connection behind the bracelets. Um so like how the bracelets could be styled every day. So you just have like photography. A lot of the pictures recently are just like the bracelets sitting there. You should have like so like you should do more of the hold on. You should do more of the styling pictures like this. People like a human connection. And then you could also get on and like talk about your bracelets or have someone talk about your bracelets. Um, you probably need to get reviews. You have a lot of pictures. Yeah, so I think for you, you just need a human factor behind your brand. Um, there's what are they called? It's a watch company. Um, what is that company called? I want you to check out their company, the way because I think that you'd benefit from kind of seeing how their Instagram is laid out. So, because I don't think your ads are necessarily working because there's no like human factor behind your Instagram page. Because it's a lot of pictures, but it's not like, so it's hard for someone to like see themselves wearing it because you don't have too many like human um like everyday um qualities behind the pictures, if that helps. So I think that might help. There's a watch brand and they're both for men and women, and I think that they do um their photography so well. And I think that that might help you because it kind of gives me that same vibe. But um, Yeah, let me see if I can find someone. Here, I'm gonna see if I can find a company for you to look at so you can kind of get an idea. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Oh, so like this. So they have a bracelet similar to yours, but you see the girl has on like her bracelet and then she has her shoes and everything else in her picture. Um, so it kind of adds that like human factor. But this is a good example. So this is a watch company, right? So sorry, hold on. It's a watch company, but it's not just like pictures of the watch. It's like people doing everyday things with their watch on. So I think you just kind of need just a human factor to your stuff. So, and then with Instagram ads, figure out what days, once once you kind of get your vision, figure out what days work best for you to run ads. So yeah, it took a little while, but I figured out, after running it for like a week. So I ran it the whole week. So I put $6 per day for the whole week. And I did that for 2 weeks. And consecutively, Fridays and Sundays were my highest selling days. So Thursdays were okay, Saturdays were okay. So I started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I cut it off right there. Yeah, I mean, you have nice products. I think that your marketing strategy is maybe just a little off for Instagram. And then get people talking about your products. Put people behind your brand. Jennifer, let me go back to your questions list because I think we only have a few more. Okay. Last one. So when finding quotes on prices on Alibaba, I've done this before for so many different products, jewelry and non-related jewelry. They also always ask how many do you need, and then they give you the price, and maybe it's in my mind that they quote you higher, but you want to get the lowest price listed, and then I would say a higher number, but then the expectations of that number they have with you. But you really don't need that much. Yes, so working on Alibaba is frustrating because you do need you need to buy a higher amount. That's why it's so important to get your samples and then decide, like, you just have to go for it. So like the people that make my rings now, like, because I was like, oh my god, 100 is too many, and then now like I'm selling out consistently. So you're right, like when you do buy less, the amount is higher, and then when you start to buy more, it gets cheaper and cheaper. But I've run into the same problem. Just Alibaba, you just have to buy so much more to get the cheaper price, because if they're sending it to you, what platform are you on? I'm on Instagram. It is BLDXMONIQUE. So it's bold without an O. It's BLDXMONIQUE. And that's my business page. Yeah, so on Alibaba, you do have to buy a lot of, that's what I was going to show you, Alibaba. Are you doing, what is it called? I forgot what it's called. It's in stock products, because with ready to ship products. Ready to ship products don't require you to purchase as many, and it might work out for you because you're not customizing anyway. So if an item has this, like, where's my thing? This ready to ship right there. go in that folder. See if that works out for you. Try ready to ship products so you don't have to buy as many products as possible. That might help. Did you have, yeah, ready to ship. Because the MOQs are normally like between like 1, 12, and 30 if you're not trying to buy, you know, too many of a product. Download download the app. The app is so helpful. Yeah. Just click on the ready to ship tab. Did you have any more questions? I think we're almost pushing an hour, so I'm going to wrap it up. If you guys have any more questions. I think that's all. That's all you sent me, Jennifer. But if you guys don't have any more questions, I guess I'll talk to you later. I'm just gonna wait one more second and see if anything else comes through. All right. Well, you guys know if you have any questions, you can email me or DM me. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Yeah, no problem. All right, talk to you guys later.